Good evening, ladies and gents. How the devil? I'm almost on time today. That's an apology for being late yesterday. I don't count within 5 minutes. Yeah, that's not late, but 6. That's taking the Michael, right? Hope all is well in your neck of the woods. The absolute state of the BBC website today. Fuck me. Just like I keep saying, there's so many problems. Half the world's on fire. And the BBC, our state-funded media, once the envy of the world, just talks shite. Shite. Anyway, I'll do the Oxbridge pleasantries because I'm early. Hello to Kate, my friendly neighbourhood moderator. How you doing? Kirky Bally, Harold Stewart, Davey Scott, Dave Harris. Who else have we got in? Matty Oliver, now then. Ralph Cray, Trent Hugger's always in. Egg Fried Rice, Two-Tone, now then. Papa Golf, Maggie P, hello there. Tommy Walker, Stevie Ray, now then. Kenny Ainsworth, who else? Alan Lloyd, Kev Wright, The Reckoning, Matt Seaford, Derek Thompson, Seaford Everton, Paulie G, Pongo Bongo, Ginger Mongoose, grew up in Fura, Tommy Walker, now then, Trev Matthews, Craig Hewitt, Bill Beebe, and that's about it, isn't it? Russ Broadbent, now then, Lee Evans, hello Origami Pig. Right, James Flowers, how you doing? And Blue Van Man, last of all, how you doing? Right, just look at the BBC homepage today, right? So I had a quick scroll through. Top story, bus crash in Bulgaria. Yeah, it's shocking, but it's ultimately still just an RTA, right? It's not that big of a... It's not geopolitical world event, is it? Then we've got Meredith Kercher's killer ends his sentence. And then just identity politics. Look, this is the homepage. This is the big events, right? Road traffic accident. 10-year-old fucking murder. Oil reserves. Identity politics. Fucking, there's your top 5. And 2 of them are bastard identity politics. Olivia Rodrigo, if you don't remember, was covered in a video I made a couple of months ago about this story. Olivia Rodrigo once thought only white girls could be pop stars. Like that fucking lass isn't white. Like, what planet are these people living on? Look, Olivia Rodrigo. Look at her. She's not white. No. She's as black as an Alabama crow, that one. It's laughable. It also proves the point that people keep making. Yeah, look. Right? And the point people keep making is, if you look like that, and you're a young, attractive, white girl, again, the ethnicity and the race is irrelevant. It's, if you're hot, you're privileged, is the easiest way I can describe it. If you're really, really attractive, your life's easier. And you know your life's easier. You know it. You know if you look like that. There's blokes out there who think she's so hot, they would bend over backwards to help her out, to do her a favour. There's pervy blokes out there who would crawl naked across broken glass to suck the cock of the last guy that shagged her. That is how privileged you are when you're extremely attractive. She's fucking smoking. So, don't tell me life is hell. You know what it reminds me of, this bullshit? The white guy. Yeah, that white guy next to her, he loves milk. Man milk. It's so ridiculous. And It reminds me of Meghan Markle. Like, seriously hot white chicks like that. Meghan Markle is a classic example. Imagine, look at her. She's like well tidy. Imagine being a nobody, right? A fucking nobody. Me again, man face, was a nobody. She was a nobody. She came from nowhere. She didn't come from money. She didn't have anything. And then she becomes an actor, which isn't fucking working, right? No actor is sitting there going, fucking hell, I wish I was a bricklayer. I just wish I could achieve my dream and be a bricklayer. Imagine going from being a nobody to being an actor, getting paid loads for doing fuck all. And then going on to be royalty, and then buying a $20 million house in the most wealthy area, one of the richest areas on planet Earth. Imagine being part of the 0.00001% of the most privileged people in the world, and then claiming that you're a victim. Because that's where we are. She does the same. This fucking privileged white girl is rich, successful, and fawned over by the media. And she wants to paint herself as a fucking victim. You couldn't make it up. What you gonna do? Stop the shit-covered tramp on the subways like with this tin mug out, fucking hasn't eaten for 3 days, lips like Weetabix, like and she's like, look at that privileged bastard. That's what some fucking lunatic did back in the day. Do you remember when they first coined the term manspreading? There she is, Whitey. Remember when they first coined the term manspreading? The woman who coined the term manspreading is some upper crust Manhattan socialite who works in a cushy office job. And she was going to work one day, nipped into Starbucks. Again, I say work. Sitting in a fucking air-conditioned office eating fucking donuts. Nips into Starbucks to get a fucking chai latte or whatever bullshit drinks to make in there. It looks like it's a modern art masterpiece, a fucking Starbucks drink nowadays, what these dippy twats eat, drink. And then she's riding the tube to work, and she sees a crusty old homeless man covered in shit, asleep in a drug-fueled haze with his legs spread. And she takes a photo of the homeless guy. It was a homeless bloke. She took a photo of the homeless bloke, puts it on Twitter and says, look at this fucking privileged white man with his legs spread wide. That's what caused the manspreading phenomenon. Some stuck-up, upper crust, well-off, middle-class arsehole painting herself as the victim of a dirty, smelly homeless man who's probably got fucking numerous mental issues and lives in a cardboard box. That's the world we're living in. The people that cry victim the most are the most privileged people in society. Mansplaining. Yeah, not mansplaining, manspreading, right? I suppose I'm mansplaining now because I happen to be a man. Again, even that one, everything about this shit is toxic and bullshit and ridiculous. Mansplaining. Mansplaining is what? Talking to someone in a condescending manner. It's not mansplaining. It's being a condescending prick. If someone asks you a question, how do shoes work? And you do what Kamala Harris does and talk to them as if they're 4 years old, and you go, well, you take these little bits of string here and you put them across like that and you pull them together and you make a little dicky bow and they keep them on your feet. It's called being a condescending prick. Kamala Harris is the master of it. Hillary Clinton's good at it as well. Theresa fucking May was good at it. Any woman in a position of authority, fucking Susan. Condescending prick. It's not called mansplaining. Again, are men the only fucking gender capable of being condescending arseholes? I've just reeled off a ton of them that happen to have tits. Again, people like me, old school liberals from the 90s, were raised to not see colour or gender and think about these things, because the clever people know that that's the best way to have a harmonious fucking society. That's how you get a harmonious society. You don't think about things like that. You judge people by how they act and what their ideologies are. Like I said, me, I'll hang out all day with someone that happens to be black and conservative. I like conservative people. I don't care what they look like. He could be black, disabled, and love sucking cock all night long. As long as he's a conservative, I'll probably get on with the bloke. And then you get some white arsehole like Owen Jones, and I think he's a fucking throbber. So it's not about what you happen to be. It's not about your immutable characteristics. It's about what you think. And anybody who's normal, i.e. 90% of society, behaves that way. Mansplaining. What a load of horse shit. Karens be everywhere. Yes, they do. It's so fucking silly. Does my head in. So anyway, I'll read this out of morbid curiosity, seeing as I'm here. Grammy Awards, Olivia Rodrigo dominates. Poor old depressed Olivia Rodrigo. Everyone's climbing over themselves to fuck her. And now she's getting showered with money and praise and awards and best album and best artist and record of the year and every fucking thing. And apparently she's got it so hard because she used to think that only white girls could be fucking pop stars. Bullshit, Mr. Handman. You used to think only white girls could be pop stars? Really? Really? Tina fucking Turner? Have you never heard of her? Tracy Chapman? Jesus Christ. Beyonce? Halle fucking Berry? Oh no, she's an actress. The point is, you lying twat. You didn't think only white girls could be pop stars. I can reel them off. I can fucking reel them off. Skin from Skunk and Nasty. Yeah. Remember her? She's white, isn't she? Yeah. Of course she is. Everyone knows that. Definitely. What's she got? Let's have a look. Skin, Skunk and Nasty. Yeah, look. Only white girls could be pop stars. Look at her. Yeah. She's paler than me, huh? In fact, look at that photo. Which one's the minority in that picture? I can't even tell. Can't even tell. Yeah? This one, she's as black as a fireback. But this one, full-blooded Aryan. It's laughable, yeah. So, Olivia Rodrigo, wind your neck in, you fucking dippy mare. You're getting showered with praise by all and sundry, and you're fucking white. And nothing you've said is true because you are a lying lefty arsehole like they all are. Don't you miss the old days when people used to say lying was a bad thing? You weren't supposed to lie. The left just lie constantly. They don't even feel any guilt about it. It's just lie, lie, lie. You're not supposed to tell lies. We all tell like little white lies, small ones, but you should try not to. But they don't give a fuck. They'll say anything. This is just total. You didn't think. I remember one of them, one of the Black Miss Worlds. This is an old video I made. Long-time bootcuttiers might remember. But I made a video over a year ago when the latest Miss World winner happened to be black. And first thing she does is go on the BBC and says, oh yeah, a black girl, I didn't know black girls could win Miss World. So I went back on the fucking Miss World website and looked, and like, seriously, the black women have been winning Miss World since the fucking 50s. They just reeled them off. There's been about 15 winners in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, and then you get these dippy twats turn up in 2020 and go, black girls aren't allowed to win contests. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? And they do everything. I didn't know black girls were allowed to be actresses. Fucking shut up. Like, they're so stupid. It doesn't even really... like, this is just low-effort content, isn't it? It's so stupid. I shouldn't even be covering it. Like, it's fucking daft. Because everybody knows it. It's like if someone said the sky's not blue, nobody'd bother making a rebuttal video because it's so fucking obvious. So, yeah, I shouldn't be talking about this shit. Let's just move on. Yes, Kate, we all enjoyed that world where we didn't care about skin colour. That world was called the 90s, and it's sadly gone because they're not happy. They just want to keep taking and taking and taking. So yeah, we're fucked, and it's sad. We were almost at some sort of in about the mid 90s before Blair came in and fucked up the whole world. We were almost there. We'd almost got a society where everybody was included and nobody was aggressively fucking prejudiced or hounded because of what they looked like. We weren't homophobia wasn't rife in the 90s. Racism wasn't rife. We were almost there, and now we've gone 50 steps backwards. It's shocking how bad it is now. 2021 is terrible compared to 1991. 30 years of going backwards. Don't tell me it's been progress, because it fucking hasn't. Because of the BBC, because of shit like this. Look at this one. Let's do this, shall we? Out of morbid curiosity, let's click on the artist who skewers white privilege. Lubina Hamid, the artist who skewers white privilege. Why are we talking about this? Why? Why? Because I like being fucking angry, that's why. So, first things first, she's a shit artist. I could paint better than that. Look at that hand. I can draw hands. Hands are quite hard to do. Look, Bootneck's hand's alright there, isn't it? See? That's how you draw hands. That looks quite like a hand if you're doing a face palm. Obscured the thumb, made it a bit easier. Easy. Look at that. What the fuck is that thing? Is that meant to be Jeremy Beadle's half sister or something? What's that? So yeah, first of all, she can't fucking paint. If the Bootneck can do better, and I don't presume to call myself an artist, but if the Bootneck can do better, you aren't a fucking artist. Gammy hand. So she's got a gammy hand. First things first, you can't fucking paint. Secondly, painter's satirical work has always blazed a trail. Why is it blazed a trail? 3 fucking women playing a board game is hardly blazing a fucking trail, is it? Tracy Emin is a fucking clown, but rolling your unmade bed, crusty, spunky bed into the art gallery, that's blazing a trail. Drawing a fucking Kit Kat hand, yeah. Waffle hands playing fucking playing a board game. That's not blazing a trail. Also, yeah, look at a little finger. My little finger, what is it like? It's not even, it's about a quarter down from your index finger. Look at that fucking little finger there. Like, absolute waffle hands. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, paint better with your cock. It's like my left foot drew the cunt with his shoe, with his a pen between his fucking big toe. So absolute bollocks. She can't paint. I don't expect you to attend a show of mine and go, it's very beautiful. Yeah, no fucking shit, because you can't draw hands, love. Instead of painting a design to make people think about their relationship to history, what gets left out of textbooks? Oh, you mean fiction? You mean fiction? That's what BBC keeps saying, that, don't they? Ooh, some things get left out of the textbooks. Yeah, fiction, because it's meant to be history. The reason we don't put fiction in history books is because then they wouldn't be called history books. They've got their own sections in the library, yeah? Go into the library or any bookshop and you'll see a big sign and it says history. And that is things that really happened, yeah? And then there's another section with a big sign, see, this is mansplaining, this is being a condescending prick, and there's another section, lefty arsehole, that says fiction. And you know what that means? That means it's fucking pretend. Yes, like William Wallace looking like Idris fucking Elba. Yeah, fiction. Or Robin Hood going into battle with the Sheriff of Nottingham with his best mate, a fucking Zulu warrior. Yeah, a bloke with 8 brass rings around his neck and a bone through his nose. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. Zulu warriors from the Maasai tribe were not present in ancient Nottinghamshire. So that's why this shit you guys talk about doesn't get put in the textbooks. They're in the fiction section. I watched that History Guy's YouTube channel today. He was talking about how total bollocks on the BBC. That David Olasongo, or whatever he's called, who just makes pure fucking fiction. History. It's like, why do they have to insist on being a living stereotype? All the cliched things the right say about the left, saying how they rewrite history and they make things up and they just burn the history books and come up with fucking nonsense. Why do they insist on always doing it? Like, they're proving us right every time. You just follow the playbook. So yeah, him is among the most influential black British artists alive today. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. If you can paint, I like you. If you're a painter, don't care what you look like. Don't care what you put your cock in or rub your minge up against. All I care about, if you're a painter, is that you can fucking paint. And this is dog shit. It's dog shit. I can do better. And I'm not a painter. Hamid was born in Zanzibar. So not really British then, eh? You're not born here. I suppose if she came when she was a baby, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But again, like, you know what that reminds me of as well? The way they're always saying everything's black British. Like, even though it's a historically inaccurate claim to make that Britain's always been a diverse society. I answered a question on Quora the other day. And shall I look it up? I mean, I'm segueing into other things anyway, so I might as well fucking put it up. But basically, some fucking lunatic was trying to claim, it's an American lady, was trying to tell me that Britain was like fucking a New York subway in like modern times. That's what it used to look like in the fucking 12th century. Here we are, look. So, someone on Quora said, don't know why, were there black kings in England and Scotland? Was Kenneth Dub, King James I, and the Knights of the Round Table black? Or is this just more Afrocentrism? Obviously, no. Let's talk history, shall we? Actual history. Fact, yeah, that's history because it's factual, not BBC history, which is total, pure fucking fiction, right? No. Great Britain was 99.99% white as late as 1950. Fact. Fact. Yes, that's 1950 after World War II, not 1950 BC. Britain is not America. We may have imported her ridiculous race politics, but the simple inviolable fact is there were almost no black people at all in the UK until the 1950s and 1960s. Does this mean black people are British now? Not at all. They're here and they're happy and they're welcome, and there is no reason to make things up just to make white middle-class Guardian readers feel more comfortable about their insane fantasies. Edit. Figures from the official census of 2011 due to the fact people in the comments still wish to inhabit an alternative reality. This is fucking mental. And this is off the official census, right? So on the Scottish government's website. And this was in response. I went and found this information because there's a woman in the comments, a fucking idiot, saying, look at this here. My mother knew plenty of black people in Scotland, and she was born in 1943. They were doctors and university professors and African and Indian students, and she said their English was better than hers. When she emigrated in 1965, she was shocked by how poor American black people were. And I said, yes, so she knew black people in Scotland in the 1950s and 60s, which is not incorrect to what I wrote. Anyway, also, you are being very liberal with use of the word plenty, because Scotland hasn't got plenty of black people now, let alone in the 1960s. I walked around Glasgow in about 1989 with my dad, and there were definitely less than about 2% of the population. So, this is pure fiction. Just pure fiction. And I don't care, I haven't got a problem with anybody, but why lie? You don't have to lie. It's not about being prejudiced. It's about making shit up. There's no need to do it. Just, yeah, if you're black and you're British and you were born there, yeah, you're as British as you can be. as far as I'm concerned. It's all about your mannerisms and your habits and your cultural norms. If you were black and you're born and raised in Middlesbrough and you went to school with me, there was two lads, I think, in my school in the 90s, and you talk like me and you've got the same accent and you unfortunately support Middlesbrough Football Club and you drink the same pint and you like the same things and you dress the same, to me, you are just as fucking British as I am. But there is no need for you to start fucking lying about it. And again, normal people don't. If you're a black lad from the borough and you'll say, oh yeah, my dad come from Jamaica in the fucking 60s or the 70s, you don't have to say, oh yeah, well, did you know Henry VIII had a fucking black trumpeter and therefore I've been in this country for 17 generations. You haven't, have you? You haven't. 99.9% of black people in Britain have not been there from anything more than about 50 or 60 years because they came in the fucking 50s and the 60s. And regarding these numbers, I was stunned by two things. First of all, just how few black people are in Britain. And secondly, just how much Tony Blair must be the worst Prime Minister we have ever had. Tony Blair, basically all of the problems we've got now are because of Tony Blair, aren't they? And that proves it. In 2011, the black population of Scotland had grown by 28,000 people. So it was literally, in 2001, there was only 8,000 black people in Scotland in 2001. And this fucking lunatic's telling me there was loads in 1950. There was literally 7,000 in the entire country in 2001. And then Tony Blair just moved massive numbers of people over with no checks and balances. So it's Tony Blair's fault why we're in this shit now. The whole reason we've got massive numbers of jihadi or people who sympathise with jihadis is because of Tony Blair. All of this shit is Tony Blair. Tony Blair is the single worst Prime Minister the UK has ever had. Neville Chamberlain looks like a fucking icon compared to Tony Blair. That man is responsible for all of our wars. What a twat. So, yeah, this is bollocks. This woman who can't fucking paint should be working in bastard Burger King. If she wasn't a left-wing woman of colour, she'd be working in fucking Morrison's. She'd be pussing the trolleys around Morrison's car park because she can't fucking paint. So let's just have it said. Right? Done. What other news have we got? Oh, yeah. This is a Conservative talking point, so I wanted to bring it up, right? Life is cheap to these people. To the left, life is also cheap. When a young woman's life can be ended prematurely, and the person that did it with malice on purpose, it's not like he accidentally mounted the curb whilst driving pissed, at which point 10 years or something would be, I suppose, acceptable. If you can prove that you didn't do it on purpose and you were merely being a prick, about 10 years in the nick will do you. But for you to purposely fucking kill someone and get out, 34-year-old, he's still got his life ahead of him. He can still go on the piss. He can still sexually assault more women. I could understand letting them out if they're really old. Like if you're in your 80s, you're no longer a threat to anyone, any young women. Let them out. But for a man to callously murder a young woman and be a free man at 34 years old just shows that life is cheap. Life is cheap. These people don't, the left, the do-gooders, that insist on constantly fucking whinging about the justice system. Oh, we shouldn't send pedos to jail. We should send them to Lightwater Valley for a long weekend and do a workshop with a bearded bloke in a fucking cashmere sweater. That'll make them be a good citizen. It won't. It won't. Lefty modern parents claptrap doesn't fucking work. Rapists and pedos and murderers don't give a flying fuck about playing a left-wing fucking political board game, yeah, to joining a knitting group, and then what? Having a long chat on the psychiatrist's couch, and then what? 2 weeks later, they're out being a lollipop man outside a fucking school for the blind. What planet are the lefties living on where they think this fucking soft touch approach to the worst people in society is a good idea? What planet? If you're a lefty arsehole and you think rapists and murderers and pedos should get fucking released from jails after 12, 13 years for killing people, ending their lives, they will never come back from that. You're a fucking idiot. And another good point to make while I'm on, the murder rates are artificially kept low. I got this from, I read Peter Hitchens' column, and he's so fucking spot on with this point. The murder rate is actually artificially kept down because in 2021 we've made such staggering inroads with medical science, right? The things they can do now to keep you alive is staggering. 10 years ago it was staggering. I was in Iraq in 2007, and a lad in my company got shot like 7 times at close range by a fucking fighter, Mahdi militia. A burst from an AK totally shredded the bottom half of his torso. We put tourniquets basically right and left of his bollocks. So we put a tourniquet on properly as far up as you can go, just either side of his bollocks. Tightened him up, got him in the hospital. 7 rounds, shedded his fucking legs. Saved his life. He lost fucking 3 pints of blood. They saved his fucking life because we just tourniquet, hospital. The medical advances that we've made are quite staggering. Even in my lifetime, they actually changed the medical advice in my lifetime. When I was doing my basic training, they said you'd never apply a tourniquet, just keep stacking the first field dressings up because you poison the blood if you leave a tourniquet on. And they did teach that if you have to do it, you have to release it every 30 seconds and all sorts of shit. Nowadays, that whatever modern chemicals is where they can stab you with it and it'll counteract the negative process, all of the build-up of toxic chemicals in your blood, that keeps people alive when 2 decades ago they'd have been fucked. So the murder rates from all of these scumbags who are seriously fucking people up are kept artificially low because of the amazing skills of our surgeons and doctors and trauma surgeons and paramedics and modern operating theatres. It should be much, much, much higher. And instead, you get human vermin that'll stab some poor woman like 30 times. And then because she lives, but her life's fucked, she's never going to be the same ever again. But because she lives, because of the surgical teams, she fucking, the guy that did it ends up getting done for attempted murder in GBH, and he's out of prison in like 6 years. It's unconscionable. They're out of prison and and they're going to do it again. And again, the attitude of the British press and the British government seems to be saddy cunt. Everyone knows what saddy cunt said, right? The attitude of them seems to be part and parcel of living in a big city. As long as Ariana Grande concerts get blew up with just relative infrequency, well, we can get on with it, can't we? We can get on with it, easy, right? But the point I made in a rant on my YouTube community tab the other day was it's not a big deal unless it's your fucking 9-year-old, unless it's your wife. Then it's a big deal, yeah? Bit of an issue there. And the scumbag shitweasels, the cowards, and fucking losers, self-serving shitbags that run the shop in the UK should be fucking ashamed of themselves. We have women constantly being brutalised, tortured, murdered by grooming gangs, by nonces from all walks of life. Not just, they might be predominantly practitioners of the religion of many, many pieces, but it's not just them. We are systematically fucking women over because lefty do-gooders want to have the fucking nice, soft, hand-wringing approach to crime, and it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. Absolutely fucking disgraceful. 16 years for ending a young woman's life. She ain't coming back, and that piece of shit should be rotting in a prison alongside fucking Foxy Noxy, because I watched the documentary about her and I do not for a second believe that queer fucker is innocent. There's no way. Just the way she behaved was fucking ridiculous. So, yeah, bollocks. She got away with it because, as we all know, young, attractive white women are without any doubt the most privileged people in society. It ain't fucking me. Fuckers like me get stitched up when we go to court. It's people like her. But it's just shocking. And isn't it mad, isn't it? Again, I've made this point many times. It's mad how the left go on about how they care about women's rights. Conservatives care about women's rights. Conservatives care about old-fashioned approaches to women. Women should be well treated, put on a pedestal almost. And we can be a bit condemning of them because we think being chaste and virtuous and being married is good for your mental health and good for your physical health. You know, you're not going to end up fucking pissing green fluids out of your beef curtains because you've been getting rinsed by 20 sailors every fucking weekend. We are the ones who look out for women because we think they should be treated well. The left claim to be all about women, but the second a woman gets victimised by anyone that's on their victim pyramid, right? Fuck the women. That's what their attitude is. They care about women when they get killed by a white guy, but the second a woman gets killed by one of the regulars at Alan's snack bar, or one of the slightly more tanned fellows who comes over on a dinghy, or some bloke from Somalia who gets a bit stabby in the middle of the fucking market, then they would do that equation in their head, do they? We see a woman get killed and we say, this is a disgrace, the justice system's too soft, we need to clamp down on crime. They see a woman getting killed and they go, was it a white man that killed them? And if it was, they go, oh my fucking God, yeah, lock him up forever. But if it wasn't, then they're happy to take the side of the killer, the pedo, the torturer, the rapist, the murderer. Don't tell me left-wing arseholes care about women, because they don't. Because if you're a woman who got groomed systematically by 50 blokes who like to go to Alan's snack bar, you are getting no fucking assistance from the left. They will cover up the crimes against you, actively stop the state from deporting them if the person who victimised and brutalised you was foreign, and brush it under the fucking carpet. So no left-wing arsehole ever should have the brass neck to claim that they're looking after women's rights. That is just a fucking fact. Kate, yes, it is wokeism at its very worst. All they care about is colour. They look at the person who commits the crime against the woman, and if it's on the victim pyramid, they will side with the stabber, side with the raper, side with the torturer. It's a fucking known fact, and frankly, it makes me sick. Stephen On's gone to watch the Borough play. Poor bastard. Poor bastard. I would rather watch the house burn down with the kids upstairs. Anyway, that's been nearly 40 minutes. I think I'll call it there. Just a depressing fucking day on the BBC, isn't it? Just shit. Just shit. Please, if you are stupid enough to be paying your licence fee, I would heartily recommend stopping doing so. It's immoral. If you pay for the fucking BBC, you are as immoral as fucking Jimmy Savile. The pedo that they helped cover up his crimes. Yeah, you know, remember that guy? Yeah, who the BBC helped, because that's what the BBC do. Help cover up paedophilia. Yeah, same with the grooming gangs. Yeah, that guy. If you pay for the fucking licence fee, you're as immoral as that fucker. Because this drivel, the artist is skewed as white privilege. Yeah, cheers then. Put that in your top stories. Fuck me backwards. Right, you can't make it up, can you? Top story. What a load of absolute bollocks. All right, thanks for watching, ladies and gents. I'm going to be away for a few days because I'm going into LA to see my mother-in-law with the missus for Thanksgiving. I think I'll be back Friday or Saturday. All right, all enjoy yourselves. was going to say have a good Thanksgiving, but we don't do it because it's a foreign country. I did have an American say to me, well, you don't do Thanksgiving in England? I was like, no, because it's a separate country. Right? Funny old thing, we don't celebrate fucking, I don't know, Kwanzaa, whatever they do in Nigeria and shit. It's a separate country. So no, we don't do that. Right? Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you on